There we go.
Whatever, man. I don't know what the heck going on, bruh. It's crazy, man. I'm definitely Teddy Riley for the day, bro.
You say you the Teddy Riley for the day.
I'm Teddy Riley always.
It's all good.
Yeah, man. Had to play myself into sorrow, man.
Play son. Come on.
I ain't really doing that, man. You know.
Yes, sir. Come on here. Well, you guys,
what?
You guys.
Hey, what does the share button mean?
Like it.
What does the share? What does the share button mean? I could wait. Watch party.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can do a watch party.
Let's do a watch party. Let's see.
Man.
Share.
Sure. Come on,
Did you lose me?
We got you.
Oh.
Go ahead, man. Keep playing.
Hey, but why is my thing? I'm on repeat or something right now.
What, on your screen?
Yeah, something's going on. I'm on delay or something.
You shouldn't be. Do you have it on another phone or computer?
Nah.
What is it, just repeating itself, or what is it doing? Uh-oh. Hey, son. What's up, Terrence Elliott? Let me bring him back. Hey, everybody.
Yo.
Here we go.
Okay. All right, I ain't touching that thing. I don't know what the heck going on, man. I ain't touching that thing, man.
Is it working now?
It's working now, bro. I'm back.
It's working now, so we good. We good. How you
feeling? Man. Man, I'm feeling all right, man. You know, just about to start working at Walmart soon, man, before they open up the country, man. You know.
We good, man.
Yeah, man.
What you gonna be at the front? You gonna be greeting people?
Yeah, man. Hey, man, you was saying some good stuff earlier, man, about Darick earlier, man.
Yeah, man. Listen, we lost the gym, man, for real.
Yeah, man.
We lost the gym. So that, I was sharing that story, man. So, like, I really want these young cats to understand, like, we really paid our dues.
Yeah, man. People don't know, man.
We really paid. I think you and I were probably, and a couple other musicians, we were around the old heads.
All the time, bro. That's all we did. People don't know, man. That was the way to be around just the only way to learn, man. You know, the only way to learn is you had to hang around the old people, sit down, shut up, and watch and listen.
And listen, right. And be
sit down and shut up
sometimes.
And be told what you do, bro. You know,
and even when you didn't like it, man.
Yeah.
I remember as a drummer being up there in Nashville, sitting under Henry.
Yeah, man.
Man, on a Friday night in Nashville.
Yeah.
Dude,
listen,
that was so much pressure, man.
Man, some people don't know, man. Like Henry, first of all, you couldn't play with Chuck and them unless they came to your state, you know. Because actually, what people don't know, Darick was a bad drummer, man, So they had Darick, man, long before Carlton, long before what's my man name? Mac, long before Mac, all them cats, man, Darick was getting down, man. Darick was the drummer. And we all had to learn on the drums,
Yeah, we did.
You learn to stay first. That's where you first learn of what and what not to do, how to stay in the pocket in order for the jam to work. Come on. In order for any song, any hymn, any jam, you had to learn, You had to get yelled at constantly because the drums you get looked back on. You know, they don't. You know, the drums usually sitting behind, so they get the look. They got to turn around, and you know that's like the whole.
When you get the look, it's over.
The whole church go like, uh-oh. You know.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I remember getting those looks, and they haven't turned around, speed it up, slow it down.
Yeah.
Do this, do that.
And you had to watch.
If you didn't do it, what they do, Rob?
They the universal.
I got this.
One thing that's universal in the church, man, is the tap on the shoulder. See, you know, man. that's in Kojic, Baptist, House of God, Jewel, wherever you at, AME, you know, the universal language growing up for the last 100 years, 120 years. If you was in church,
is a tap on the shoulder.
It's a tap on the shoulder. You automatically know what that means. You ain't got to. And what make it worse is if you don't get up, you might look at somebody, then they're gonna be like, "Got to go."
Right. You know? Be majorly embarrassed.
Ain't nothing your parents could do. No. Ain't nothing the pastor could do. When you off, you gone, brother.
You gone.
That's it. You got to go.
But you still gonna be gone.
You got it. You gone, brother. You off the kit. You've been made an example of. You know, but it's really all with love, man. Because don't forget, man. You know, growing up in church, you know, there was no music class and no music school and all of that. That was school, man.
Right.
That was
hard knock.
That's the hard knocks, man. That's the only way you had to learn, man. You know, there was no other way.
That's right. And you know what? I'm grateful for that because it taught us. It gave us a discipline that I don't see today.
Yeah.
It gave us a discipline that I don't really get when I show up at some of these services. Like where's the discipline? Where's the where is that? And yes, it's almost a lost art, but I'm grateful that we came up in that realm of hard knocks. I mean, we got it straight. And the different thing too was how we received it differently from everybody. Everybody had a different style of playing. Everyone had I don't know if I lost Robert again, but everyone had let's say Henry wasn't the same way that you backed up, let's say Chuck. The same way that you backed up
I think I'm back now. Yeah, I'm back now.
I was saying the same way you backed up Henry on drums wasn't the same way you backed up Chuck or Calvin. You know, you play with Ted, one way. You had to play with Calvin another way. As a drummer, you had to know that.
Yeah.
So
listen, you had to know, bro. You had to learn how to adjust. You know.
Yeah.
And you know and it was you had to learn how to adjust, and that that was with everything. Like you said, each player was different. And what happened was, that would prepare you. Don't forget, so when you play with Henry, Chuck, Calvin, Ted, Glenn Lee, any of the Jewel Cats, whoever, when you play with those guys, those are the main guys. So then you also locally had a different band locally, right? And different young guys. You might have had your auntie on the drums. You might have, so you're trying to translate that version of learning down to the local, which helps us all grow because we essentially playing more with each other, right? People in the state and locally get to hear us more than they hear the main guys.
Right.
So that was our, way of kind of strive for excellence, know. So you would then take that experiences from like yourself, you playing with everybody. People forget, you was the child prodigy, man. We all wanted to be like you, man.
Come on,
man, come on. You know to tell the truth, bro. We all wanted to play like you, man. For the drums, I mean, starting for the drums, we all, everybody my age between, that whole bracket, bro. We always trying to be like Dante because you was playing with the main cats,
I'm grateful, man.
So that was the bar, man. You had the famous cousins, man, Anthony Harmon and, your dad and all these cats, man. You had all of that stuff. So you know, we were trying to be like you on the drums.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so many of the, I remember when we used to come down to Florida, you know, we used to come down there.
Spend the summer.
Hey, spend the summer, man. We got like, hey, we go down there, man. It's like 12 drummers waiting in line, man. Me, you, Shane, Ivan, Patrick, and Artie.
And Artie, yes.
Shane. Who else used to play drum? Benji. Benji, like, gee, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, that was a long waiting around, bro.
Yeah.
You know.
It was.
We had to do a lot of that.
It was so much fun.
I think you paused. But go ahead, you bet.
Yeah, it was so much fun, man. It was just amazing. Like it was like the seat you wanted. It was the seat you wanted. And like I remember Darick like being that drummer, like that changed the game in the sense of, you know, Mac and some of the older guys, they were more, you know, just straight, you know, pocket, you know, they were pocket drummers, but they didn't color outside the lines.
Nah.
You know.
Nah, and that's the thing. Like imagine like you were saying, like, you know, we used to like Mac and all those dudes, man, you know, they wasn't the most fanciest dudes, but they knew the pocket. Mac was learned the pocket of Calvin, Ted, Chuck and them, Glenn, Henry Nelson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just a simple dude like that. So we had to, you know, and all of us being young, because you know Mac ain't doing no triplets, he ain't doing no double footing,
right.
And we all sitting around like, man, what is this dude doing, man? You know, this is, I mean, in your brain, in your young brain, you thinking like, man, this is kind of corny, man. Watching this dude, why?
Boring.
Yeah, why can't I play? But then as you know, you watch it and you learn and you get more. You're like, man, he just hitting the pocket, man.
That's it. And
you know,
and that was what we were taught. We as we progressed and we understood and realized that they were just really setting the foundation for us. Yeah, we took it and we ran with it, but we never really ran from the foundation of what we were taught. So yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, bottom line is, right, you know, when you get into a lot of different, no matter what style of music you're playing, you got to be in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And like, you got to understand the music, as they would say, the music starts with the drums. Right. You know what I'm saying? If the drums is all over the place, the music is going to be all over the place.
Yep.
Right. So it's, you know, no matter what tempo, ever many beats per minute, and how many triplets and quadruplets you doing, like, it's got to be there.
It's got to be.
You know what I'm saying?
It's got to be pocket.
You know, the drums, the bass, the guitar, and it's been in our church, you know, it's really the steel and the rhythm section, you know, and, but as we grew up watching guys, you know, like I tell people all the time, man, I grew up watching the Campbells and Glenn Lee, right? Henry Nelson and I saw them play more than anybody. Ted and Calvin was more Detroit, right? So, but watching Henry, right? So just something as simple as, right, watching Henry Nelson show up with his wife on the keyboard and his daughter or his son and that was his crew, right?
Yep.
And you knew there was never going to be no off music. You know what I'm saying? It was never going to be off.
Ever.
Never. Right? And you might Henry Nelson might show up to your stage and you be like, hey man, you know, I want to play the bass, and Henry Nelson look at you like, no, young fella, that's okay. My wife gonna run the bass. She gonna run the bass on the keyboard.
Right.
Right.
And that's what happened.
Hey, and look, and you be sitting over there mad because you're young, and then all of a sudden the whole church shouting, you be like, gee, I guess this is what it is, huh?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
those are the days, man. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And you know, watching those guys and watching the rhythm sections, man. People don't understand what rhythm really was. I mean, I mean, listen, and this is not just in our church. This is really sort of all over music in general. Music in general has lost rhythm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. It has.
You know, kind of because, you know, I mean, sometimes, you get newer technology, and sometimes people got to learn to catch up with newer technology,
Right. Right.
So, what new technology has allowed us to do is just, riff, make our own tracks, make our own music. But
right.
At the end of the day, you got to sit down with a band and a group and come up with some good music. We can sit all day and get on our computers and do and do a track and do all that. That's fine. Right. But what's going to happen? You essentially got to play with the band.
Right.
So what does the band mean? The band is the bass player, the drummer, the guitar player, the steel and the organ, in whatever order.
Right.
Right. So if I go, so check this out. If I go to Kojic, I don't play the same role in Kojic as I played in the House of God.
In the House of God, it just won't
what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. And I remember growing up, me and Dow Brundage used to do that. If you go play in Dow Brundage setting, right? Dow Brundage, you following Dow Brundage. But when Dow Brundage know he coming back to the sort of House of God, keep the mean, so Dow Brundage fall in line and he's still getting down. You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
So everybody's still getting down. Getting down is like in the pocket, right?
And you know what? You say that there's so many musicians we can talk about, and you brought up another great one, Daryl Brundage, and I remember David Brundage and the Consolators. Man, I used to watch them. I remember watching them at the old church, and literally it was just those two. People don't realize that Daryl used to play the guitar. And was straight mean.
Oh, he was killing. Oh,
like he was using a whammy back then in the 80s. Man, when him and David hooked up, it was over. It was a wrap. And it was just those two.
Yeah, man. And that's really what it is. It's just really about everybody playing together. If you a band, it's called the band. The band. Exactly. Most guys today, just show up to church and they everybody got their own directive, their own sort of thing that they want to do, their own agenda, and the agenda has to be listen, we're the band of the church service, or we're the band of whatever, the blues club or whatever we're at. We're the band. What is our role? Who's rhythm, who's bass, like me and Chuck was talking about this not too long ago. It's like, me and Chuck could play together. Chuck and Darick played together all the time. Me and Calvin could play together. Me and you or Glenn Lee, whoever. There's tape of me and Glenn Lee playing together. We know, right, who's playing rhythm. Both of us can't play lead at the same time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you just can't go okay. Go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right. No, it's the discipline. It's the understanding the roles. You understood what we all understood what we were going to do, so it was easy to assess the roles. So once we locked up and locked in, it was like, okay, this is what you're going to do, this is what I'm going to do. Boom, here we go.
And listen, and what they don't understand is you supposed to you talk it out during each segment, each song, each whatever, each song, each solo. Somebody may sing a choir song. It's okay. You go okay, Dow Brundage, okay, Glenn Lee, okay, Glenn Lee on the keyboard. Okay, you take it over now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay, if you got Phil on the guitar or Dave Watson or some of these other guys, you go, okay, man, you go ahead and take the lead. I'm gonna back you up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's you just can't, it's a collective thing. You just can't be. You just can't go, hey, man, me.
Come on.
It don't go like that. Go ahead.
It doesn't. You're right. No. You're absolutely right.
And for me, being one of the things, I remember, we were young, and the first time we really saw two steel players playing together was Darick and Chucky really kind of, on a service. You know what I'm saying? And you show up and you thinking all right, well, what these jokers going to do, man? What kind of mess they doing today, right? And then all of a sudden you just sitting back, you kind of with your mouth wide open, wow, this actually works. You know what I'm saying?
They played together.
They brothers. They played together. They've been yelled at many times. They have the ultimate of discipline of playing in church, right? Yes. They know every chord change of every song. And they also know when you show up to the church service, it's you go hey, it's two steel players and a guitar player and Carlton on the drums and maybe Lion Bennett, right, on keyboard, right?
Right.
Them cats them cats already know what they're gonna do. They know who. You know what I'm saying? It's not. This is not show up and just let's just hurry up and make a meatball out of whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Bishop Campbell was great at telling those guys, okay, hey, here's the program. See, people don't understand that. You got to be prepared, man.
That's right. You don't just show up and do it.
Nah, this is not show up and do it. All of that mentality has to go far and just away and you know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, we get it. Sometimes you be put in a situation, but look, when you show up, right? You plan a program. All right, well, who's playing? It's one thing to be like, well, I don't know who's going to show up, but when like, okay, me, Dante, Ivan, and so on, and Benji, or whoever, right? Okay, hey, man, especially now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially now. Yeah. Like, I mean, we get it. Years ago, right? You would show up, you would not know because technology wasn't the same. But now technology is the same. Technology is there, right? Ain't nothing but like, hey, here's the version of the hymn we're gonna play. You know what I'm saying? And here's what we're gonna do. Like, you can't show up and play whatever chords you want to play, and I can show up. Like, it don't work like that, bro.
That's right. That's right. There has to be cohesion. There has to be cohesion, and that's so great. And I'm so glad you're talking about this. And for everyone that's watching, share this post, like this post. And I'm talking to Robert Randolph. We are sharing our experiences. We're also just sharing about our late brother, Darick Campbell. What's your favorite story, or what's your favorite moment with Darick?
Man, I got boy. Hey,
so many, right?
I got so many of them, man. I got a good one, man. This is funny. We recorded, and this just actually speaks to how close the Campbell family is, and we all praying for them, right?
Yeah.
And this just speaks to how close those guys are and how they was raised, right?
Okay.
So this was maybe about 8-9 years ago, right? We recorded the Sly Brothers record, right?
Right.
So we recorded the Sly Brothers record, right? So, all right. So now the record company's like, oh, man, it's great, man. We really like this, man. All of the steels together, so and so. So, now we got a tour booked, right? The agents and everybody book a tour label, man. So we get to the show, man. We get to California, and Calvin called me and say, hey, man, something's up, man. So it's like, well, what happened, man? Because, it's supposed to be, it was me, Calvin, Gent, and Darick, and Chuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I was just going to play the rhythm, right? Because I was like, all right, no, I'm featuring you guys. You guys are out there, So me, Calvin, so we all sitting there. So we all get to the hotel. So I'm like, what's going on, man? And the promoter said, hey, man, so I don't see Darick. And so Calvin said, man, Darick ain't showing up. Like, what happened, man? So next thing you know, they're going, bruh, Darick can't show up because mom told him don't come without Phil.
So
I did like this. I said, what? I called Darick on the phone. I said, Darick, you so and 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 so. What in the world? He said, he was like, hey, man, hey, he be calling me Randy. He's like, hey, Randy, hey, look, man, Randy, look, man, look, mom said I can't come, man, without Chuck and Phil, man, and so and so. I did like that. I said, you know what? I totally understand, man. Don't even worry about it. I know how y'all was raised.
Yeah,
I get it. Sorry, man. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
So then we get to the gig, man, and the promoter's pissed off. Like, what kind of Sly Brothers it is? You're missing 2 of the other guys. I said, and the record label called and they say, hey, it's supposed to be the record release show, man. But I said, where's Darick and Chuck? I said,
right.
Don't even worry about it. I said, mom said he can't come. They said, you serious? I said, yes. When mom says don't, you can't.
You can't come.
Hey,
you can't come,
boy, brother. Their mom said you ain't splitting up the Campbell brothers for no amount of shows. Nope. I did like this. I said, well, I hear you, mom. I get it. Listen, I get it,
man. But
that's that's how close those guys was, man.
And you know what? That speaks to their musicianship. it speaks to the respect they have for their mom and their family. But man, you are so right.
Listen,
you're so right.
It's just listen, I told Chuck and them that story the other day, and Dee Dee and all of them, man, made them laugh.
I know they fell out.
They was like, because I ain't even never really talked about it until then, man, because I just said, wow.
Yeah.
Because we all know, hey, that's why when they show up, unless somebody ain't there, right, they're going to play together, which rightfully so, I mean, it speaks to the point of what we were talking about before. It's like, they practice together. They got a crew, right? That, they have a camaraderie in a sense of, we don't have to guess. We don't have to, because actually when you think about it, if you have the crew there and we all know what we're going to do, we don't need to play mismatch today, right? You're trying to have a good church service, right?
Yeah.
You want to hear some good music.
That's right. Bottom line.
That's the bottom line. So listen, we all know, like, we practice and we wanted to play and we get there to see. It's natural, right? All of that stuff is not. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, those guys, they practice together. They all gonna play the same chords and changes together.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they were locked. They were locked, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was Darick and Phil. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if it was Darick and Chuck together. It was just it just they locked.
And you know what's crazy, man? You would, but before you hear Darick and before you knew about him, right? At whatever age, right? I'm going all the way back to when we were still in Rochester. But I remember we showed up to it was the bishop's anniversary. Okay. And Darick is playing, and we like, hey man, why Chuck ain't playing in Rochester? Man, why Darick playing? That's a whole nother story, but but so Darick is playing, and we thinking like, man, what kind of junk is this, man? We don't want to hear no Darick, man. And you sitting there and you listening to Darick, and like there's wow, this dude has the same right, the same professionalism. He knows everything about music, the tone. He practiced on his tuning, his gear, everything, right? That's the bar. People don't understand, like, that's the bar that the Campbells, Glenn Lee, right? They set the bar, right? And I was telling somebody, I said, now how in the world, that's literally 30-something years ago. Now how, when somebody sets a bar from 30 years ago, you go backwards.
Right, you can't.
You know what I'm saying?
You cannot.
And like, so so those guys set the bar. Like, you're not even supposed to go backwards like that, right? And when you think about it, right, you got, when you see cats like all of the young cats, like, listen, Carlton has the same thing, right? The Bennett boys and Lonnie Bennett all have the same quality. See, they all came up together, so they only know one way. You know what I'm saying? I even feel out of place when I'm around them because, like, they only know one way, and it's always the right way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And like, that's just that. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's like like Anthony, when Anthony Harmon used to show up with us, but we looking at this cat like, man, this dude dressed, his bass is clean, man. He tuned up, and he got his tuner and he take it out all nice, and he don't never go like, hey, give me your E. Nah, he got the tuner and he tuning, bro.
And that, you know what, and that shows the musicianship of the people that we grew up under. I mean, we learned all these things. We learned the craft. We watched them. We took their tunings, made them our own.
Yeah, man.
We took some of their tunings and adjusted it and made our own tunings. I mean, I literally, the reason why I tune right now to like a C6 is because of Darick.
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
Your guitar is set up the way it's set up is Chuck.
Yeah.
And the reality is that they set a foundation for us that we still are learning from and beaming from now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what happens is, man, look, in all reality, we were blessed to really have, and I tell people all the time, right? First of all, like, right, the reality of it is the house of God is only really special because of the steel guitar God gave to the church.
Wait, say that again. Say that again.
It's only special because of the steel guitar that God gave to that church. He didn't give it to no other church. You understand? He didn't give it to Kojic. He didn't give it to AME. He didn't give it to this one. He didn't give it to that one.
He gave it to us.
He gave it to us.
He gave it to us.
And these guys that we've watched and our great-grandparents watch and grandparents watch and all of that, right? They set the Zep. Don't forget, these guys have played hundreds of hours of revivals, travel hundreds of thousands of miles across, building up an organization with the steel guitar. Where else you going to go to a church service that somebody jamming for 3 hours? Guess what? You ain't going to go to one.
You ain't going to go to one.
You might go to a 3-hour service. You might go to Hezekiah Walker Church and he going to preach for an hour and a half.
Right.
Right. But where else you going to go to a church where
predominantly music,
where black folks in all of the ghettos of America, right, are playing 3-hour services of still jamming, folks shouting, spitting, and hollering, and getting saved, and all that kind of stuff, right? So we were blessed to have all of these different guys. Like I tell a story. It's like people say things like, "Oh, you got." Hey, Muddy Waters. I say, listen, man, we got our own Muddy Waters, man. We had Lorenzo Harrison. We got, Ted and Calvin and Henry. And like, people don't understand, man, those were some bad dudes back then. You know what I'm saying? Those dudes like Calvin wasn't nothing to be playing with.
I'm still studying their stuff.
Listen,
still listening to the old stuff.
Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you one thing about Calvin. You could study all you want, man, but man, that Joker man was relentless.
I was just talking about his. He really was. I was just talking about him. They had an appreciation before this whole lockdown. I think at the end of last year, and like Calvin has one of the most like straight left hands, like as far as bar placement.
Oh, ain't it?
Like it's just solid. Like you don't. Hands down. Calvin has the best left hand I've ever seen. Listen,
and it's crazy, man, because Calvin will be watching me. And he'll just keep like, straighten out your bar, straighten out your left hand. And I'll be like, man, I've been playing like this forever, man. What you talking about? Get your hand off me. But you watch him, and he's just smoothly playing the guitar, smoothly guiding around the thing, right? And you sitting there, and you just like. But people don't understand, man. This was some relentless Calvin style. I mean, that's really the first rock and roll steel, man. You know what I mean? I mean, like you like what in the world?
Demonstrate. Go ahead and demonstrate.
Man, let me see, man. I can, man. You got to be warm, boy, to do that. I got to change my tuning. I got to change my.
Come on, Doc.
Hey, people don't understand, man. People don't understand, man. When that crap was happening, boy, you crying, you can't help but move, man. When that crap was going on, you know.
Right. Edwin, you're right. Bishop Dillard, we remember Bishop Dillard too. Bishop Dillard played well.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's so many people that played that we not even discussing, right? It's so many people, man. I mean, you can go on and on and on.
Days.
I mean, that's why I went back and said that's why the church is special, man. You know.
Yeah.
And when you put and when they put together, and this is not even really talking about them, right? Because it is what it is. But it's like when you throw away something that God gifted to the church and what built the church, right? And now, which has been recognized. Don't forget, the Smithsonian is the most credible source in the world, the Smithsonian Institute, right? So when the Smithsonian researched and put the House of God music, steel guitar, in the Black African American Museum of History, you understand?
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And you know, the thing started, you know, I mean, they started doing their research probably about shoot, in 2004. The girl, you know, was I was telling her my stories, and I'm like, listen, to be honest with you, you need to go talk to Ted and Calvin and let them find some other old people like who can tell you the more deep history. But like this thing goes way beyond me. It's just something that's been going on, and this ain't in no country nowhere. You know what I'm saying? No. This is in Detroit, Chicago, Newark, New Jersey, Brooklyn, Harlem, all
cities, everywhere, all across the U.S.
Yeah, like I used to tell people, I'm like, people used to say, like when we first started playing, they like, well, man, where you get that? I was like Henry Nelson. Where you live at? Brooklyn.
How?
Brooklyn. Like Brooklyn. my man in Brooklyn down there with Biggie and man and Jigga. The Marcy Projects.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But that's just the whole speaks to the whole gift that God gave all of us. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason that we're here.
Yeah.
You know. So you know, I tell people, listen, treat it as it is, you know, and practice, prepare yourselves and do all that, right? Yeah, and you know what's crazy, man? You know what's crazy? Like you forget, like every once in a while, we just have you fall into those bad tendencies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's so crazy. I'm so not that disciplined. Like if I get around Carlton or Derek Bennett and one of those dudes would be like, hey man, you got to tune that thing, man. Tune it up, man. I'm like, I thought I was nah, man. What you doing there?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. That you can't listen.
You know, like, and here's what's crazy. Like I could easily be like, man, you shut up. You don't know what you're doing.
Right.
But we didn't grow up like that.
But exactly. And the thing about it is we're not unapproachable. We're not so hardy that we can't listen to somebody. Give us, you know, when I go down, I remember the last time I was at Fort Lauderdale church, talking to Lester Wilkes, and I grew up on these guys. Oh, it looks like I lost Robert again. I grew up with these guys, and if it wasn't for them laying the foundation for me to be able to play, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the stuff and have the discipline that I have as a musician. And be around other musicians internationally, nationally known. It's a big deal. It is a big deal. Let me see if I can get him back on here. I don't know what happened to him. Where you at, Rob? I hope his phone didn't give out on him. But anyway, it is incredible to just to hear even Robert speak about a lot of the things that we've gone through as musicians, and we're in our 40s, you know. Here we go. We're in our 40s, and the things that we've seen, the things that we've gone through, the stuff that we experienced as young musicians. I mean, we had to listen. We had to listen. We had to be disciplined enough to listen to somebody tell us, look, you know, do it this way, do it that way. I remember playing with Glenn, and Glenn was such a stickler of when a song is when somebody just strikes out. You know, they don't do that anymore. They used to just strike out with songs. You know, the drummer had to be like right on it. So God is a good God. Yeah, see, I mean, they just want you to just lock. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Even now, and like you said, your point, you know, as you know, tuning your guitar, listening to some advice somebody's trying to give you, listen. Yeah. Even if it's to somebody that you think is not credible, listen. You may learn something.
Bro, you'd be surprised how many people, like people don't know. I used to call everybody, right, from Andy Mims to Buddy Boy to Leo Nelson, Big Leo Nelson, to Anthony Fox, you know, Lynn Lee, all of these cats. You know what I'm saying?
And our phone bills were ridiculous.
Remember that, bro?
Oh my gosh! Right.
And but the whole
used to call me so much, man.
Yeah. I know them jokers used to hate calling you, man. I mean, I knew you used to hate me calling you. Everybody did, man.
But no, it was cool. It was just like, but our phone bills, we don't have the kind of plans we have now.
Nah. You ain't got no unlimited call,
unlimited, man. Right. We needed that back then.
Bruh, you know. Right. Yeah, that's what people don't know. It's so much easier to be better now than it was back then. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I don't think guys realize we learned mostly through listening. We were in the moment. We used tape, like, you know, with me at times, I didn't do it all the time, but I would, you know, tape record or find somebody who tape recorded the service.
Yeah.
Tapes like crazy.
Bruh.
We were popping tapes left.
Bruh, we popped tapes, the videotapes, the cassette tapes.
The VHS.
Bruh. Hey, and you say, play it over the phone. Let me record that while you play it over the phone.
And we holding it over.
Hey, and then you call somebody, you messing with them, and you like, hey man, hey, I got that gold tape, bro. I got that one from '92. Like
with the
what?
All-Star lineup. Yep.
Like what? You got Ronnie and Rob from Cleveland '92.
You got that?
What? You got that, bro? Hey, you be like, man, let me get me a buddy pass. Trade. I'm on my way down there.
No, you trying to do an even trade? Oh, I got.
Like, yo,
I got Chuck and Calvin together.
Hey, right.
You try to do some even exchange, you know.
Bruh, let me tell you something. I got some bad tapes to this day, bruh. I got some ones. I tell you what, there was a tape of Glenn Lee when he had the what's that? The blue blue MSA.
Was it MSA?
Yeah, the blue MSA.
Okay.
That blue one.
Okay.
Bruh, listen.
Glenn was no joke.
Hey man, that joker was playing Down at the Cross. Down at the Cross. I mean, he was doing so many daggone chords, and I'm like, but what kind of night? What's going on here, man?
Glenn, people don't know, Glenn really actually went to school and got trained in E9. Like he really went to school and got trained on E9, the E9 tuning.
Yeah.
And then he came back and changed his guitar. People don't realize the top neck when he played his double neck, it was actually an E9. It was standard.
Yeah. No. I knew that.
Y'all, he was playing what the country guys in Nashville at that time, as they call standard C6 and E9, he was playing their tuning in the House of God Church and killing it.
Exactly.
And I saw nobody
not like that
doing it. It made me go study.
I remember, man. Remember we used to come over. We used to come over your house, and you had that back room back there, and you had the steel back there, and you like, man, look at, I got this Glenn Lee thing, man. And you know what's crazy? Because us up north, man, you know, we wasn't into Glenn Lee at first, man.
Get Glenn like we got him,
Nah, we ain't know nothing about Glenn, man. And I remember you and like all the matter of fact, remember we used to argue all the time. We would be like, who better, Glenn or Chuck? Glenn or Chuck? Like, shut up, man. You don't know nothing. You be like, Glenn. You be like, man, Glenn no more chords. And I be like, Chuck no more chords, man. What are you talking about? Right?
Yep.
Bruh. That was the beauty.
That was so funny though, is the respect that Glenn had for Chuck.
Yeah.
Glenn, like if you were to talk to Glenn would tell you like all day. Like Glenn would show me tapes that he had of Chuck that I'd never seen.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I was looking like, what? Chuck was playing a 6, and Glenn had a tape of Chuck playing a 6.
Oh, I got them tapes, bro.
Glenn had so much admiration, man, for him.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, see, those two was like, you know, when our age group, we was watching those two, trying to see like, because those were the professors. You know, I call those two the first actual real professors of the steel for the House of God Church. Yeah. Really, in any of that style of music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, you know, of course, you know, Ted, and he knew all of the different chord changes, and Ted never missed a change, right?
Never.
And Ted was relentless as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But by time we got, and you heard Calvin and all that, but once it got to Chuck and Glenn, right, that's what set the bar to a whole nother place. Uh-oh, what's that there? That's it right there, boy. See, you know all that stuff.
Hey, listen, Ted was my dude.
I know he was.
And you know what? I think that was the thing, even with Darick. When Darick played pedal steel, he sounded like Ted.
Yeah, yo.
He sounded more like Ted than anybody.
Oh, well, of course, yeah, because Darick used to tell those stories about when he would go down, you know, go up to Detroit, and all those times that he would learn from Ted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, Ted was just such a different player, man. It's like there was this whole thing, man. I mean, to me, people don't understand, man. That was some beautiful music back then, man.
Dude,
right? I can listen, put one of those. People don't understand, man. You can go and put one of those tapes on now, and you literally will have to sit down,
and listen,
go somewhere and shut up. Go somewhere, sit down, and shut up. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
And because like the whole thing, bro. You listen to Benedict.
You'll get something that you thought you knew.
All the time, bro. All the time, bro. All the time, bro. Like it's all of those different jams, and it's a whole library. It's literally a whole history, you know. And what has happened, right? Without not even really talking about nobody, it's just the truth. This regime that came over in the early 2000s and took over has really taken the whole history of the church down, right? Now, somebody may say it was God's sin or his heaven sin. I don't know about it. All I know is, imagine if you taken Michael Jordan out of the history of NBA basketball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There is
like, yeah, and it's like, and it's not even really
documentary.
Exactly. But like, to me, I feel, to me, I feel for the this younger sort of generation of guys that's playing now, because they really don't know what to do. They literally have no clue. And you trying to, even if you try to explain to them, it's kind of like you speak in Chinese, you speak in Mandarin.
Yeah.
Because the guys have no clue what the pocket is. They don't, you know, and I kind of feel bad for them. They looking around, and people be asking, and it'd be some guy asking. I'll be like, man, you're 35 years old, man. What you doing asking about the pocket? You know, like we had to learn that when we was 12, man.
Come on.
You know?
And you know what? And as you're saying that, it's really, and I'm so glad like you guys are tuned in. And if there are young musicians on here, please like take note. Like when we came up,
hey, hold on 1 minute, Doc.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm gonna log off and come.
We had to learn hymns, you all. We had to know what it was to play a hymn. We had to know what it was to as they say, outline a hymn. That was important. This generation is just all about jamming. Y'all, I'm jammed out. As soon as somebody finishes a solo, that is not the time to just go in. Like, dude, extend the song. If they're singing God is real and they, you know, or I can feel them deep in my soul, and they stop singing, keep playing it. Somebody might get set free by listening to you play that melody about 3 or 4 more times instead of jamming. So let me bring Robert back in here. I think we miss and this is to Robert, to what you were just saying, Robert. I think sometimes we miss it when we go straight into the jam. I was saying that a lot of these guys, they're just all about the jam. All about the jam. Man, they go in, they want to pick like you. They want to do they want to travel 55 miles per hour, and the speed limit is 30.
Bruh,
and it doesn't even call for that. Like, dude, y'all slow down. Like, and people want to hear music. People really want to hear, and I think that's the thing that I miss the most. Is I don't hear music. Like, people playing like a piano. Like, I could be in church with a piano and a drummer.
Yeah,
we gonna make music.
Yeah, ain't that something?
We're gonna make music.
Well, hey, and that's one of the things, man. It's kind of like us. Listen, you only really the only really way to learn is you got to sit and watch. You know, I don't. You could study. You could study all you can. You could read all the books and all of the theories. But when it comes to this kind of thing of playing together, knowing how to do it, either once you've sat and watched it, right now it's trial and error. But you have to be willing to go through trial and error. You got to be willing to get yelled at and tapped on the shoulder. You know what I'm saying? If not, then you're never gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? You're never gonna grow. Listen, Calvin, Chucky, all of them cats, especially Calvin, because Calvin been around me the most, for the last 20 years. And Calvin, many times we take Calvin on tour and all that, and Calvin as used to say, Calvin come on the bus and say, man, you gonna have to clean that up. I'm like, man, what you talking about, man? Who you think you talking to? And then and then you sit there, you be like, all right, okay, Calvin, I know what you mean, man. You see what I'm saying?
And you cleaned it up.
You got to clean it up, man. And then I know, because some time will go by and he go, boy, there you go right there now. Now we talking. You see what I'm saying? But listen, because they don't know no other way. They're not going to sit back and listen to and watch you continue to fumble it. You know what I'm saying?
And they were the innovators. They're the ones who set the precedence for
us. Listen. Here's the bottom line. This is their style. You understand? This is their style.
Their style.
You know what I'm saying? So they know what their style is.
Sounds
I had these long conversations with a couple of bishops. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about, they were like, just having some talk. And they were like, well, how do we get it right? I said, listen, you got to go ask those guys. This is their style. You don't tell them, oh, this don't sound like the house I got. They created the sound. Not you.
Hello.
You understand? Calvin, Henry, Ted, Chucky, all of those dudes. It's their sound. You understand?
I mean, when you hear that, I don't care where you at. I don't care if you
Hey, it's only.
I mean, when you hear that, you already know.
It only came from one place. You know what I'm saying? It only come from one place. It ain't come from nowhere else, right? And many times, like I hear now that, and this is for some of y'all that's still going to the church and all that kind of stuff. Hey, listen, that's great. Go ahead if y'all want to go. But listen, whenever somebody tells you, when they break out into the slow jam and they tell you, oh, we can't play the slow jam, Bishop, you say, go kick rocks. The church was built on this. It was built on this. Listen, this is not about you. The music is for the service. You don't like the slow jam? Guess what? Go to the bathroom. Go get some soup and C&C sodas in the back.
Have a seat.
Go have a seat. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the church was built on this. You understand? Hundreds, 100 years.
Let me say something. Let me say something to that point. Outside of everything that I've seen, and you and I both know that more of the slow style came out of the Jewel Dominion. Okay, let's just talk about it. The reality is that outside of the music, we were the only thing. Even when the church split before we were born, okay, you and I were even thought of. I mean, the church split like 3 ways.
Yeah,
it didn't matter. The music still carried out. Okay, you, me, Dale Grace, Footy, Ronnie, Jarius, all these guys, that we know in the Jewel Dominion. You know what's interesting is that we were able to come together as musicians more than the church actually came together. And I don't really think the church really understands that. That we come together more as musicians than the church comes together as an organization.
But check this out. Here's my thing is, my thing is, like I say, listen, they've made a 20-year mistake, right? By eliminating what's going on, right? The only goal is, how do you get the thing right? How do we get it right? That's what I told him. I said, just get it right now. It doesn't matter. You already raced 20 years. You got guys that grew up from age 0 to 20 that don't know nothing about how great Calvin, Chucky, Ted, and the history, and Dave Watson, and all these other dudes, Dow Brunt. Like, they don't know. They haven't seen the offsprings of that. You understand? Nope. They haven't seen that. You and Anthony Harmon and your dad. All of these dudes, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that you've completely just erase and wonder why when you look around, like, what's happening? It's happening because you stepped in to what God built here. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, like I told you, you're not going to find this nowhere else. It's nowhere else. It's the only place you're going to come. When you go to a house of God church, you're only looking for one thing. You're trying to jam for 2.5, 3 hours. Guess what? That's the only church you're going to do that at.
That's right. And get it clean and raw.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I guarantee you if they announce, I guarantee you if they went and announce, you start getting the old crews together, and Dave Watson and Calvin and Chuck and Phil and them and me and you and Dave Farmer and all these other cats, right? Listen,
everybody named Mama be back.
Listen. Bottom line is, listen. Here's what I'm going to say. Bottom line is, it's going to be some good music. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be good music that somebody could sit and learn from. I would sit and learn from those guys, even right now. Yeah. You understand? I would sit and learn from those dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I ain't never even seen Ronnie Jarius's dad play in person. Like, I'm dying for that because that dude is the most precise dude in the history of playing steel guitar, man.
Understand, Rob. You don't even understand what you're missing.
Bro, I already know from the tape, man. I'm like,
you don't even understand what you listen to Jarius. But to hear Ronnie?
I mean, I love it. No, I hear Ronnie on tapes, right? I hear Ronnie on the tape, but I want to be there. Brother, see, I ain't never been there, and I already know.
It's an experience.
It's
an experience.
That's what Calvin and them.
You're gonna get saved all over again.
Hey, that's actually what Darick used to always talk about that. Calvin still talk about. Calvin say, man, let me tell you something. Calvin say, man, when Ronnie play that guitar, bro, he said, man, you can't help but come out the aisle, come out your pew and get in the aisle. And already know from the tape, man, because it's like this dude, man. Do this dude even make a mistake, man? Like this dude be like, whoa, come on, you be like, hey.
All you do is just.
Hey, and what's crazy is the hardest thing in the world is to really just be that simple and that precise. You know what I'm saying? So on the money.
All the time. All the time.
That's what I'm saying. All the time. And here's what I'm saying. Like, he learned that from Lorenzo, right? He's carried that on to all of the younger guys, right? And it is what it is, right? So it's like, you can't erase that, man. This is some great, listen, the stuff is so great. Whenever somebody hear it from all around the world, they all have the same reaction. They go, what church is that from? You understand?
Right. And that's what we end up talking about.
Bro, it's like, ain't nothing you could do, man.
That's what we end up talking about.
Bro,
where can I go hear it? If I'm playing I'm playing somewhere in Alabama, I got to point them to a church in Alabama. If I'm in Kentucky, or if I'm in South Carolina, I got to take them to a church that's somewhere near so that they can go visit. And this is the stuff we get. But this is how rich the music is. You're right, man. And this is everywhere.
Bottom line is, like I say, my message to all of the younger guys and, and some of the people that's still playing, it's like, listen, man, you got to be willing to be good. You got to be willing to be tapped on the shoulder, because guess what? Yeah. We all play something wrong. Like,
we all do.
Listen, I can go to church and play tomorrow, right? I'm going to play something wrong. We all do every service. Ted has. Yeah. Chucky used to get yelled at by his granddad constantly, right? Yep. Bishop Campbell yelled at them in the middle of a church. I got the tapes. We all been yelled. How great they are. You talking about how somebody would say, well, how in the world, especially when Chucky was 20, 30, and 40, like, come on, man. Like, this dude get looked at. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and Bishop Campbell tapped him on it. He get tapped out for Darick.
All the time. All the time.
You know?
And that, you know what? And I think a lot of people don't realize that we got it we didn't get it so much from a lot of the church members because they were applauding. Oh man, y'all jam, y'all sound good. But when we got home, man, you sounded horrible.
You sounded, boy.
Man, don't you ever
boy,
get up and do that.
Boy.
And we have to take it.
Boy.
We have to take it, man.
Hey, listen. I call our service in Orange, New Jersey, boy. It used to be like boot camp because Big Leo Nelson, boy, you thought you jammed, boy. Leo Nelson called you early Monday morning. He'd be on his truck 6:30 in the morning, like, nigga, I already hit you upside the head with my guitar. He said, nigga, I should have took my ball and threw it at you.
Because we knew.
Like, that's the only way you grow, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like, that's the only way, man. Ain't no other way. So you got to be willing to go through that, man. And it's all the time. It's all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of the bishops do it, and everybody did it. But the one thing that was consistent and changed during this whole new regime is like, let's just throw it all away. You know what I'm saying? Like, you threw it all away, and now you want to get it right. And then it's like, you know, they ask me, I said, I don't know, man. That's something that you got to ask, you know, the guys who created, the ones that are still alive, Ted, Calvin, Chucky, and Phil, and Lonnie Bennett, and all of these cats. Go ask them dudes, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't got the patience for it. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Because all it is like, let's get it right. What do we got to do? We're going to sit here all day. You know what I'm saying? Look, I actually remember the first time, Harvey and Ivan, I'm going to tell you this. We used to sit up at their house, and we used to watch tapes of Glenn Lee and them at the church practicing on a Saturday.
Yep.
You know? And that's the first time, like, I'm like, wow, man, this is interesting. I think, man, we were like 13,
all the time.
14 years old, and we watching these tapes, like, wow, man, these dudes actually preparing.
And we're killing.
So then while we would be in Ohio and Detroit, so I'd be telling those dudes, all right, come on, man, let's get together. Let's go to the church, man. Let's go get down. Let's go practice. Yeah. Let's go practice. What we going to do? We're going to practice the Ted hymn. What we going to do? We're going to practice the Calvin hymn. We're going to practice the Chucky hymn. We're going to practice the Glenn Lee jam from 1986. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, right? Yeah. You got to do that kind of stuff, right?
You do.
And you argue. Important. Yeah, you argue amongst each other like, what you doing? That ain't no rhythm. You ain't playing no bass.
Right.
It is what it is. You know,
because we know what it's supposed to be. We know what it sounded like. We saw it done raw. We saw. To sit in a revival that Chuck is playing, or sit in a revival that Glenn Lee is playing, or to sit in a revival that Calvin is playing. I mean, do you know how much? To this day, when I sit and watch Calvin play, I'm always walking away with something that he does,
bro.
That's just unreal, bro.
It's crazy, man.
The service will be down here, and it'll be like the 9th hour, literally.
Yeah.
And some wave of worship will come through, and Calvin will just do something that'll just take it right up.
All
and
the
it's
time.
just like, I'm just sitting there, I'm on organ or whatever, and I'm just like, that's Calvin. And I'm learning, I'm gleaning from him. Like, this is nuts.
Listen, all the time, bro. All the time. You understand? Like, Like, what's that dude that used to record them tapes in Nashville, man, that had that machine? You know
what?
Bro, that dude got more tapes than anybody, bro.
Dude, you talking about I can't think of his name. He was from Pensacola.
The light-skinned dude.
Florida, tall. He was kind of tall, lanky.
Well, him and the light-skinned dude too. They had the recorder, right? They had from the new church in Nashville. They would tape all of the tapes on that like 2-track.
Bill Hardy used to do the videotapes.
No. I'm talking about cassette. I'm talking about cassettes. The cassettes.
His name was Peanut. I can't remember his real name, but Shane just typed it in. His name was Peanut. I think he passed away.
Oh, really?
I don't even know if he's. Yeah, I don't think he's living.
Wow. You know what? You're right. He did pass away.
Yeah.
It was after after Bishop Diller's funeral sometime, right? I remember that.
It was. I don't remember when. But I just know who you're talking about because he used to record everything every time.
Wow, bro. Listen,
like if we had his stash.
Listen, all I know, like, bro, those tapes, man. That's gold, man.
It's gold.
It's gold, man. Like that stuff.
Anything from '90s on back is just solid gold.
And you want to know why, man? These dudes, like all created their own style. You know what I'm saying? They all, like, people don't understand, like, we literally as kids, listen, first of all, our grandparents used to do it. They got the stories. Our parents did it and we did it, right?
Yeah.
We couldn't wait to open the door. Who playing today? Hey, wait, man, we got to hurry up and get a seat because, you know, Ted and Lonnie Bennett playing today. Ted and, you know, that Darryl Brundage on the organ, Jeanette on the piano. Like, they finna get down, man. You know, like, hey, who playing today? Oh man, that's your dad. You know, you got your dad with Calvin and somebody else playing. You like, whoa,
the lineup,
bro. Like, let me tell you. Listen, I got a tape. My father got the tape we got the tape of your father, Chucky, Phil, Darick on the drums. 19. Not that one. Not that. No. This was a church service, bro.
Okay.
The church service. It was 1987, Pensacola. West Coast Assembly. I think it was in Pensacola. No, not Pensacola. Pompano. Bro.
Yes, sir.
Bro.
That's a classic.
Bro, when I'm telling you.
That's a classic.
Man, listen.
That's a classic.
And that, people understand, that was the trade. Those were the years that Chucky transitioned from Total Henry into his own world, right? And Phil used to even play different, right?
Yeah.
But that was a whole thing, man. You know what I'm saying? That was a whole thing. And then you would have Calvin. You know, you get like Calvin, Kenny Ellis on guitar with, you know, who used to play the bass back then? Lorenzo and
Alvin Lee.
Alvin, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like Rico on the bass. You know, it's like, yo, man, it's like, come on, man. Like, them cats was getting down, man. Like
all the time.
Those cats was getting the drummer.
All the time.
All of the drummers were in the pocket. You understand what I'm telling you? Cecil. Listen. All of the drummers were in the pocket.
All of them.
You know what I'm saying? Benji, Cecil, listen, even Shane. You know what I'm saying? All these cats in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember we used to be young. We were like, man, why Shane playing all the time? Man, get him on. Who you think he is? Like, he in the pocket. You understand? So you got to learn how to play in the pocket. You know?
In the pocket.
So until we learn how to play in the pocket, it is what it is, man. You know, you got to sit out. You got, and they might let you on. You might get on.
Doing an offering.
Hey, yeah.
Or you had to wait till the benediction.
Oh, the benediction, bro. Listen, I'm telling you, man. But that's a time that's sort of been erased from these young guys' history. They have no clue, you know, and I
remember when it used to be a crowd. You remember when we used to play?
Bro.
And it was a crowd. Like you couldn't. Like the ushers would make the guys leave our area because it got so crowded.
Listen, the ushers are coming due to COVID-19 shutdown, bro. I tell you, y'all got a distance. Y'all gotta go sit in your seat. Remember, we be lined all up. We be lined all up going up the hill on the in the balcony.
On the little ramp, yeah. Dude,
hey,
these times our timing was like crazy because we'll get up like when the overseer's up talking, we be in the room in the back, the choir room, and then we'll leave. When we hear them doing something, we'll jump out and run and get on the instrument because we think they about
yeah. Hey, I got one in one time when Ted let me go and sneak on in one time, man.
Ooh,
actually,
you remember that?
it was me. It was listen. I don't know if you remember, it was me, Anthony Harmon, and Pierre was on.
I remember that.
And Ivan was on the drum, and Pierre was on guitar, and Anthony Harmon was on the bass.
Smash.
I'm like, let me go get some of this right quick, you know?
Y'all smash. I remember. Because we will wait for the moment for them to get up or for them to get tired or something to happen so that we can hop on as steel players. Because we respected what they did.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, so, bro. You respect what they did.
Yep.
You went home and you practiced. You called each other. You got together. You know, we traveled. We researched the history. We researched the church, the tapes. I mean, that was our homework, man.
That was our life.
You know, and it's like, yeah, there's a bunch of great new musicians coming up. There's a bunch of good guys, but you know, it's like, man, those glory days. People ask me, how could it come back? I'm like, it ain't coming back. It's gone. To be honest with you, it's gone, man. Hopefully, you know, like, listen, there was a moment in the NBA when Jordan retired, in between LeBron, and you were stuck with, you know, Steve Francis and Marbury and everybody dribbling, dribbling T-Mac, everybody dribbling around trying to get 40 and nobody playing. Right. And then when LeBron and Golden State Warriors came back passing, everybody's like, oh, wow, this is back. Like, that's what it's going to take, man. It's going to take somebody, you know,
to bring the back to the front.
Well, it was the whole thing collectively. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's collectively, because this was going on every night. You understand?
Every single night.
Every night. Like, you can go every night in the General Assembly and won't have a bad tape. You know what I'm saying? You won't get no bad tape. Nah, you ain't gonna get no bad tape. You going and actually,
you trying to find the one that you missed because you was outside tripping.
Shoot, I went to Wendy's, man.
You missed the jam.
Man, you like, shoot, man, how did I miss that, man? I knew I shouldn't have went to Wendy's. You know what I'm saying? But, right. But I think it's collectively, man. And you know, and I tell all those guys, I said, listen, you guys need to all sit down. And you got to understand that it's about the music. First of all, you're the band of the church. What does the band do? The band gets together and practice the freaking music. You know what I'm saying? What is the mood, right? What are we doing? What are the hymns? What jams are we going to do? If this scenario happens, here we go. Here's how we slow it down. If we slow it, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And
know the songs, know the hymns, know the things that people don't think you made. And I'm not talking just one hymn. Learn all of them.
All of them. Because guess what?
Be inventive. Be innovative.
Because guess what I'll tell them? Guess what I'll say? They say, I tell them, there ain't not one song Chucky don't know how to play. There ain't one song Glenn Lee ain't know how to play. There ain't one song Ted don't know how to play. There ain't one song. You know what I'm saying? Like, them cats know music, man. You know what I'm saying? Phil, Dave Watson, all these dudes, Dal Brunage, you know, like, these cats know music, man. They ain't fumbling around the notes and the chords. They know the changes. In order to get from the song to the jam, you got to know the changes.
That's right.
You know, that's all it is. And when you do that, the jam is going to go to anywhere. Many of jams were made up on the spot because they all know the goal. You know what I'm saying? It was only one goal, is to get the music right. And next thing you know, Ted, like, how many jams Ted and Calvin done came up with at church, man? Probably about 100, man.
We lost count. Sometimes in service, we would lose count.
Yo,
we would hear
like,
so much.
It's so many. Yo, listen, and that's what's crazy, man. Like, you know, I think, you know, that's what his whole, like, oh, you got to learn how to play in the spirit. I think a lot of that came from too many people getting into Ted. It's like, yo, Ted know the what's going on. Ted know the scenario. He know all the chords to the song. And so, Ted don't never really practice a jam, but he knows the whole song. So, but people got that mixed up with, like, oh, I'm gonna just get in the spirit. Like, Ted knows the music, man.
He does.
which allows you to go into any jam. That's why any jam came to him on the moment, on the spot. Same thing, right? With Calvin, on the spot.
On the spot.
You know what I'm saying? On the spot. Like, Ted got so many freaking jams, man. That was the whole thing about the Detroit situation, man, because they get down, man, on, you know, you go to Detroit, man, and that Midwest situation, man, them cats, they like, man, what's going on out here in the Midwest? You know? They got they tempos are a little slower than us, you know. They just easing along, and right? You're like, man, what kind of carrying on is going on here?
What y'all doing? You're right.
Yeah, and Ted,
at the end of the day,
right? And it's like, bruh, like them in the rhythm section, whether it was Rico, it was Pierre, whether it was, your dad, your uncle, all of the Midwest cats, Danielle, all of them dudes, Dexter, all of those cats in the Midwest, like they know the music, man. They knew this. Everybody knew their role, man. Rico, you know what I'm saying? Terrence on the drum. No, you had Terrence and then Marcus on the drums out
even
there,
Tyrone,
man.
Tyrone Lott would play.
Tyrone and like so you like those cats knew the music, man. They know the songs, they know the changes. The only way to get from like and that's not only that, it's like I don't understand what's so hard. You know, the church only sing but about 5 of the hymns in the whole book.
Right.
You know, like yeah.
So you didn't have to learn a lot. And you know the funny thing too is when Ted, and this is the interesting thing about Ted when he played, like Ted was a few musicians who played a hymn like it was actually written.
Ain't that something? Like,
come on, brother, come on, give me something.
Man, listen, I ain't doing that. I'm just sitting here reminiscing, man, because this is some serious stuff, man. Like them cats know the music, man. It's you know, look. It's like I said, it's passed down to some of the guys because like David Fonville knows every song to every chord change to every song. Like you know, when I was like we the same age. So when we were coming up, like, you know, he started playing before me, but I'm like, I tried to be like him. You know what I'm saying? Because me and him, we were kind of, you know, we transitioned because we got into Dave Watson. Right, and Dave Watson is the steel guitar on the guitar. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yes, sir.
Remember this one?
You got to do the high note.
Which one? That's it right there.
That's it.
You know. Yeah. That's it. What's that?
Remember this one?
Oh yeah, bro. I play that all the time, brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't that crazy, man? Oh yeah. Sorry, so I'm trying to tune something right now. I just get the Ted, look on. But
you gotta have the chords.
Good with you. Man, you do the Ted, brother. Yeah. Yes, I need to learn that one right there. Hey, people don't forget, man. We try to be like you, man.
Oh, dude.
You know. Well, you and you know, because you knew all what everybody was doing, man. Ain't that something, man? Bruh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, the crazy part about
dude. Uh-oh. Did I lose? I think I lost Rob. Let's see if he come back on. Cause I said Jewel Jam. Hey, I hope you guys have really enjoyed the conversation for real. The candidness, talking about all this good stuff. Man, y'all share it. If there's some pastors and preachers on here, share this with your young guys. Let them know. This is what it's about. It's about sharing. And again, I just wanted to come on and let me see if he's still on here. I really wanted to come on. Here he is, and honor the legacy of our beloved brother Darick Campbell.
Yeah, sorry, man. I done cut out, man. But you know what, man? I'm gonna let y'all go, man. The thing is,
I'm about to go too. I'm about to go. This is great. We're gonna have to do this again, man, and incorporate something else in it.
Might as well, man. Yeah, man. We can.
I appreciate you, man. And like I was telling everybody, I just want to remember the legacy of Darick Campbell, you know, and
yeah,
I think this is a good way to honor him by brothers coming on together, like me and yourself, and just sharing, man. This is what it's about.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's such a. I mean, it's such a. It's a bad thing that we all can't be. I mean, we all someday gonna have a real home celebration going service for him, man. You know, because the dude, man, you forget, like, not only is he one of us, he was one of our teachers. You know, me and you and David Fonville and Omar and all of these other cats. We all Keyshawn and all of, like, you know, like, so those guys you know, the Campbells and all of them, and Glenn and Alvin and all of them. Like we grew up watching those dudes all the time. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
And because they came with a newer bar, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a newer thing, you know, while we still held on to Henry, Calvin, and Ted at the time, you know what I'm saying? So Darick is he's going to be sadly missed, his legacy, all of the great jams, the tone, the precision, the discipline, the fact that, you know, this guy, the tune-ins and the knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just irreplaceable, man. It's that knowledge, you know, and you know, it's sad for me because I won't get to, you know, have no more of those conversations where every time you sit down with him, you learning some crazy, wacky thing. Like, you're like, well, what in the world? How you doing that, man? What's going on? What kind of thing you got going on? So we miss all of that. So anyway, man, I'm gonna get out of here, man. You guys.
Hey, man, I love you, man. I appreciate
you too, bro.
Doing this. Yeah,
you
man.
too, man.
So
anytime,
we'll
man. Let's get down. Sir. All of y'all, music alive. Keep playing. All right, bro.
Let's keep doing it. All right, man. Guys, thank you so much. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for just being able to just join in on. I mean, this is how me and Rob talk all the time. It's just candid and just letting you guys eavesdrop in a conversation, but in the honor of our brother, beloved brother Darick Campbell. And I appreciate you all sticking with us, and we appreciate it. We're gonna do this again some type of way. You know, have some more fun. But I love you guys. Stay safe, stay sane, and as Pastor currently says, stay sanitized. All right, y'all be blessed.